Okie dokie. Here goes our attempt at recording the Russian submarine. This is the submarine we're going to go in. And the conning tower is right behind me. So we're going to turn around and hopefully not bang my head and go down inside this sub. Hopefully. Okay, we start down through the outer hull. We're now standing on a pressure hull, and these are air bottles. They're stacked everywhere they can stack them between the outer hull and the inner hull, and they held the air to blow the tanks to change the ballast of the submarine. They were also used for starting the engines. So it's this massive amounts of 3,000 psi compressed air was held. Now the Navy guys didn't have the luxury of this grand staircase, but notice that the pressure hull on this ship is exactly the same as the width of my thumb. Not a lot of metal there. A little bit surprising. Okay. Hi. Now we have one each Russian torpedo, which had a shrouded counter-rotating propeller. As we're in the forward torpedo room now.
Is polarizing the world between east and west, and tension is rising. The Soviets are using diesel-electric Foxtrot class submarines.
The purple indicates it was a nuclear warhead aboard this particular torpedo. Used color coding like the United States. There's 6 tubes in the front. You see the 6 tubes. The center 2 are open.
It can only stay underwater for 4 days.
And there's the torpedo. You can see the 4 propellers inside the shroud.
And recharge the batteries. Each submarine
so this is the forward torpedo room.
The best officers in the fleet.
Torpedoes were stored everywhere they could stick them.
One special weapon, a nuclear torpedo, distinguished by its purple color, which the commander of each submarine has the authority to launch.
And of course, you always had to have fire protection.
1962, the United States discovered Soviet missile sites under construction in Cuba. The Cuban Missile Crisis begins. 8 days later, President John F. Kennedy announces that
reminiscent of a German submarine. They use a round hatch with a rifle bolt rotating locker mechanism on it. A little bit of a challenge to get through for an old fat ass like me. But as you can tell right here, the notches lock into the lugs right here. So with just a short turn of this hatch, well, the hatch didn't actually turn. This wheel turned, which turned the lugs. So when you close this and rotated this lever, you can see that these would go over and lock it shut. So, okay. I'll kind of speed up. Got some folks behind me. Sonar room. Start passing through officers' quarters. Typical of this era of the submarine. Got another pressure hatch. Once again, we have lugs on the outside and a spinning locking ring that will spin and lock it to make it watertight.
Bear the flag of the Soviet Navy. We are surfacing. Let's just hope that intentions are as peaceful as you say they are, Brigade Chief Archibald.
Yes, Captain. For all our sakes.
Here we got the periscope. see diddly through them. Ah, actually you can see water. Oh, cool. Ah.
Papa,
Actually looking out at the water. I'll be dang.
this is so cool. This is so fun.
And here's the officer's head.
Yeah.
Not a lot of room in there, but sure a lot of thinking was done. And chart.
Papa,
Yeah. This was done a little different. As you can see, it's quite a bit different than an American submarine layout right in this area, but it makes a lot of sense once you get down to the valves to blow the tanks. This one's actually got the handles on it, which is pretty amazing. But this is the section of the submarine where you would trim it over there. These are the main blow valves that would take the compressed air from the tanks on top and blow it into the side hull that was holding water, pushing the water out, allowing the submarine to rise. So in this little area is where all the steering and navigation and everything happens. This is the actual control room of the submarine. So I'll try to get still here for a second so you can see the whole layout. Another pressure door. That's the hardest one yet. Just due to the angle that you enter it. But the same thing, it's missing the handle, but it rotates on the gear, turns the lugs, engages on the lugs on the hatch. Looks like an inverter off on the left. Modern electronics. More modern electronics.
Help, make your depth 40 meters. Help, come to course 220. Engine room, make turns for 6 knots. Electrician, battery capacity.
Still more sleeping quarters for the higher ups.
Report compartment conditions.
Compartment 5 engine room. Do not have freedom from heat exhaustion.
All compartments. Regime.
Don't see anything I drink there.
Brake for silent rally.
So we're
Sound the alarm.
now in the galley here to prepare the meals for the common man.
Compartment commandos, report damage immediately.
And most things here for the common people.
Brigade Chief Archipelago. Our standing orders are to protect ourselves.
That's where they got rid of their trash. So, trash ejector. They actually shot it out into the ocean water when they weren't too deep.
It's time for the nuclear device.
Okay. I think this will make sense to anybody looking at the video that I'm looking at. If you've been in a submarine before, that is. So I'm not going to rattle on about it. Give you a chance to look at it. Can't tell quite where the GoPro's pointing, so I'll try to cover all areas of the main electrical room. Motor drive. And they say turn around and go backwards, but yeah, I never really listened to anything anyhow. And now we have a different type of door. It's not quite as heavy duty and sealing as the other, but still it's a watertight door. And we're in the engine room. And got 3 engines. Got 1, 2, 3. 3 engines. Set up like most submarines, the 2-cycle design, diesel, 2-cycle diesel. These are the intercoolers. If they had the pipes on them, we couldn't walk through here. It would be very head banging. So basically, this is the air intake for this engine. Likewise, there's the air intake for that engine, air intake for that engine. The air gets compressed, sent through, and da-da-da. Main exhaust, you got a seal for the inside and a seal for the outside. It's typical of the American setup. You don't want ocean water coming into your submarine. So there's a valve on the outside that closes and a valve on the inside that closes, and that would secure your exhaust from the engines. They suck the air right out of this room. So the doors were held open, and the conning tower hatch was usually open, and possibly even the hatch forward of that. And that allowed you to ventilate the submarine really quickly, because these engines were running only on the surface, and they were all sucking air if they were all running, and that would quickly pump air through the submarine and clear the air out and put fresh air all the way to this point inside the submarine. And then by closing a front hatch, well, first open a rear hatch first, you could suck all the air and refresh the air into the aft end of the submarine. Okay, now it says we're entering the motor control room. Enlisted style sleeping. Amperage goes up to 50. Voltage goes to 55 hertz from 450 to 550. And here's where you have your forward, reverse, and revolutions. And thousands of amps. Yeah. Anybody speaks Russian, be able to make a lot more sense out of this. redirection rather. Air compressor, handy thing to have. Electrically powered by this gigantic electric motor behind it. DC brush type motor. You can see the brushes inside this hatch right here. You can actually see the brushes where they attach to the commutator in the armature. And holy crap, now I can't get it shut. Yep. Hook these over here. Yeah, I wasn't here. Nope, can't prove a thing. So this gigantic electric motor operated this air compressor, which is how we pump the tanks back up. That allows us to blow ballast and to start engines. And we got another head right here. It's got a fan in the back because I probably on a different diet there. Once again, we have fire suppression systems. And we're going through another pressure door.
Well, they have ships.
The emergency escape chamber. Yeah, right.
When the B-59 came to the surface on the night of October 27, 1962,
Works down to 800 feet, it says.
Navy vessels and aircraft. The American destroyer,
That's
the
pretty
USS
amazing.
Cuban, signaled the Soviet sub to
Freshwater
see if they
tank.
needed assistance. It was at that
Compass.
moment Captain Valentin Savitsky